The Sierra Madre Casino, a place of promise to be someone new. Even when you hit rock bottom, the Sierra Madre is a chance to start fresh. Or at least that's what it was supposed to be. Events happened where it was supposed to open in October of 2077, but like House and his platinum chip, the bomb struck earlier than expected. Whether you prescribe to the Fallout 4 retcon of 9:47 a.m., or the 9:47 p.m. idea of New Vegas 3 in the earlier games, the Sierra Madre was never officially opened. In the years later, a mysterious red cloud swarmed the area, locking the Sierra Madre off from anyone to ever come to the area again. That is, until the courier receives a radio broadcast signal. The Sierra Madre Grand Opening. Sounds too difficult to resist. Laura Bailey, who voices Serana in Skyrim, is the voice of Vera, or the radio broadcaster. She exclaims that the Sierra Madre is set to open. How do we get there from the Mojave? Well, a hike through the most beautiful spot overlooking the Colorado River. There is a tiny little hole called the Brotherhood of Steel bunker. Inside, there's a terminal that, when unlocked, allows the courier to sleep off the crippled leg, make cloud residue, a power armor helmet, and among other things. Jump scared at the radio, we're flashed into the Sierra Madre itself, stripped of everything but some basic equipment and an explosive collar around our neck. Elijah says we are to find 3 other individuals in the dangerous Sierra Madre Villa. In the intro sequence, Elijah says that the Sierra Madre is about letting go, a theme that is played throughout the entirety of this DLC. He also says you can listen in on the Pip-Boy easily, something the show touched on in Season 1. Something I'm also going to touch on here is about a minute into the recording, my dog started barking, so now I'm like 10 minutes post starting the recording. Anyways, something the show touched on in Season 1 was the Pip-Boys being easily listened on. Very interesting indeed. Elijah talks to us about the exposition of the expansion, to which the courier is just like Solid Snake asking the last part of the sentence in question form to get more exposition out of Elijah. Turns out this little bomb collar is linked to 3 other individuals for this heist. If one dies, then we all die. Fantastic. Once we're done with the heist, he'll let us all go. The first target is a super mutant who is locked in a cage. This is where we get our first taste of the radio frequency mechanics. Step too close and train go boom.
Train go boom.
Fortunately for us, all we have to do is find the radios and activate them so that they turn off. One is hidden under a desk because, of course, it is. Why would we have, good game design and not evil game design? I unlock a bunch of cell doors to see nothing but an average lock with a mattress behind it. This will come in handy later. Inside the basement, audio plays of someone saying they've been waiting for me. They locked the super mutant in the cage for reasons we won't find out just yet. On the table in the basement is a holotape. That's the key. I use it at the gate and see Dog turned into someone named God. The mutie has split personality disorder, to which Dog will become the mutant named God when the holotape is played, while that mutant will turn into Dog when Elijah's voice is played over the Pip-Boy. He says he'll rip me to shreds, yet the courier shows mercy by keeping him around, even if it'll make the DLC slightly more difficult, making me have to physically brutalize the ghost myself. Speaking of ghosts, exiting the police station, we're absolutely jumped by ghost watchers. They absolutely brutalize me, to which I'm low on health. After killing them, I go back into the police station and pick the average lock to find out that this mattress isn't actually usable. That's great. Annoyed, I explore the villa and find the medical clinic on my way to Dean Domino. Turns out this is a main quest area and not just some side piece. There's a few broken radio emitters, but there's a lot of shielded ones as well. They're easily dealt with. This is where the radio emitter tutorial really swings into play. I have to beeline my way through tons of radio sections to find a basement area with a master lock. Picking it, I turn off the power to this area, killing the radios. Back upstairs is a bunch of auto docks that can heal broken limbs. I guess this would be useful if you didn't have stimpaks that are easily gotten by just picking up a bajillion Sierra Madre caps that they have laying everywhere. or if you're on survival. I can't imagine limping my way all the way here, though. Someone's been experimenting on dead bodies after their collars explode. Cool. Kind of like the show in a bit. I also find a Dean stash, which are cool little caches of weapons and ammo scattered around the place. Inside a malfunctioning autodock pod is a bald woman named Christine. She's one of the 3 crewmates for the job. She has tons of scars on her face, and most importantly, a scar on her neck. She can't speak, we're led to believe. Was it that they didn't want to pay Laura Bailey money? Or I guess it'll come in handy later. Either way, reading through her motions, we calm her down, then find out she's a scribe from the Brotherhood of Steel. She's here looking for someone. Elijah took her away from a woman. Was it Veronica, perhaps? I know I didn't cover Veronica in my base game video, but essentially Veronica is a lesbian. Christine is a lesbian. Both are from the Brotherhood. Veronica says her lover's taken from her. Interesting. So I take my assassin armored booty on over to the residential district. After being jumped outside, there's the cloud, more tutorial for the dead money mechanics, and explosives everywhere. I don't trip a single one, instead disarming and adding to my collection. There is a ghoul named Dean Domino, and he has me sit on the chair. There's a pressure charge under the seat cushions. If I get up without his permission, train go boom.
Train go boom.
Well, I have to talk him down and convince him if I die, then so does he. Mutually assured destruction. Surely that won't come to bite me in the ass later. He doesn't want to go alone to the fountain. But then he says, yeah, okay, sure, when he sees that I have the super mutant companion. Finally, at the fountain, Elijah speaks about the real gooey stuff. He wants to start the gala event, but we can only do that if we get 3 more quests done. We have to take each one of our companions to their respective locations. First I go with Dean because he's easily my least favorite of the group so far. We speak for a bit and find out he knew the girl Vera before the war. He thinks he's the odd man out for this job. I think we just take him for this part because there's a lot of clouds. Yes, his perk is about letting us breathe in the clouds for a slightly longer amount of time. So we traverse this confusing layout. Despite it being linear, it's still highly confusing. On the roof, Dean says he does not want to stay on the roof because the ghost people will come. Well, I offer to clear the ghosts out by passing a science check of 60. I can turn on holograms. I run around the favela rooftops like I'm Ezio Amore, find a building in which I'm able to sleep, find a cafe with a clerk, whom of which sells things despite there being no bottle caps and none in his inventory. Interesting. I power on the rest of the holograms and return to Dean. He's still not fully convinced, so I have to pass a repair check to fully convince him. That's 1 man down. The next one is the Nightkin. The Nightkin speaks about the Master, and how Dog follows Elijah because he is a strong voice, and he no longer has the Master to guide him. The God persona threatens me further for some reason. Upon further investigation, he admits he cares about Dog. Well, I have to play the tape to make Dog follow me. Dog follows me through the area. I guess they took into account having Dog with you there, as there are tons of ghost people here. Dog straight up goes down due to how many there are. I leave the area and come back to rejoin the fight. We take down the harvesters, then beeline our way to the cages. There's an electrical diagram that requires an intelligence 7 check to study. I do study this and convince the other persona to do the electrical stuff. He refuses to switch back now, despite me playing the tapes in his ears. Well, now it's time to find the mute next to the fountain. She likes my Pip-Boy, despite me not being able to see her interactions anymore for some reason. I let her touch me all over it. Yeah. Now it's time to head to Pasta del Sol. Beeline through speakers and Red Mist because I'm just that guy. You're not that guy, pal. Clip.
Okay, you little pimply little shit. You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy. Okay.
Infernal, terrible map design kicks in as there's this factory-like section with red mist on the ground, tons of bear traps, and speakers galore. Not giving a damn, I make my way to the first room that allows me to hack a terminal to turn off the first section of speakers. Well, I blow up instantly afterwards. Lovely. I reload, and upon reload, I redo that entire section to turn the radios off once more. More New Vegas dungeon crap later, I turn more off, get a locker key, and go to the final room section. Christine is scared to go down to the next room. That's okay. I have the locker key to find the password to the terminal. Yeah, the terminal requires Science 100. I only have Science 90. That's something I rectify later when I do level up though. Anyways, I hold her hand to reassure her that everything's going to be okay. Now it's time to get to the bell tower to trigger everything. This section is just genuine horror. I'm sneaking around, to which New Vegas sneaking is just straight dookie anyways, and I burned through stimpaks fighting these horrifying creatures. I was genuinely shitting my pants. Since it's mostly a melee battle, my build, despite having 10 strength and 75 in melee weapons at this stage, struggles against these ghosts. Obsidian also wanted to absolutely spam these enemies for whatever reason, knowing you're going to be alone. Well, I finally get to the bell tower and train go boom.
Train go boom.
Fireworks light up the sky, and the gala event has started. Do I really want to have to traverse all the way back? No. This is genuinely some of the worst fucking quest design of all the DLC so far, rivaling the Old World Blues high school section. It's genuinely awful. There's a bajillion enemies with horrendous backtracking, and it's straight up annoying. I sprint to the casino, straight up ignoring these ghosts at some point. Inside, I get knocked out. My friends, too, are knocked out on different floors of the casino. I must find a way to find them. Well, the Sierra Madre is now open, and holograms roam the hallways, protecting it. I use terminals and advanced stealth mechanics such as crouching to find the hologram projectors. I fully disable the security and turn the fun part of the casino on. Now I can truly find my partners in crime. First up is the super mutant. This one's confusing as I have no idea where to find the key, and the game wasn't telling me. Google searches were also giving me contradictory answers too. Well, eventually, after some confusion, the key was found, and Dog was talking to God in a gas leak. I'm breathing this in, and a rebreather ain't helping. The rebreather wasn't helping at all this DLC. I get why, but why, man? It's a rebreather. Anyways, Dog and God are fighting for control. They both are speaking in this just awesome sequence where they'll talk and then finish the sentence with something completely different in a different persona. It sort of reminds me of Fallout 1's Master. Both sides are fighting for control, but with a little convincing, Dog finally breaks through and wins the battle. Dog will obey, but Dog is hungry. Now I turn off the gas leaks because why not? Next up, I find Dean Domino after dispatching of ghost people who got in a casino. Dean is not friendly at all. He says this heist was his idea 200 years ago with Vera. Security and radios are here to stop me. How does he not get stopped by his own radio? I'm not sure. Anyways, after some awful level design, I finally bludgeoned him to death with my knife spear and sprint out of there. He wanted to stick it to Sinclair. Now he wanted to stick it to me. Well, he can't stick it to anyone anymore because I stuck a knife spear through his ghost, ghoulish, gross, ball sack skin. Now all that's left is Christine. Well, first more ghost people. A fuck ton of them. Inside the suites, Christine has her voice back, but it's not her voice. It's Vera's. And that's why she got set up in this section. Vera ghost holograms are screaming about Sinclair. Again, this is just genuine horror. I'm not scared here, but it's like, it's horror. I sneak into the bathroom to disable her, run through radios, and get to where Christine resides. The bald lady confirms Christine was taken from her lover by Elijah and has been hunting him down. She tracked him to the big MT, but a courier with a flag of the old world got her out. And that courier was looking for another courier. Interesting. I pick up Vera's dress, all two of them, and download the songs. Back to Christine, I ask her for help unlocking the vault. Yes, the elevator to the vault goes through her room. What lovely quest design. Story's awesome though. I use the elevator and make a break for the vault to which I'm locked in. I'm locked up and they won't let me out. Well, I take all the gold bars, all 37 of them, and shove them up my ass. Turns out Sinclair built this for Vera.
We've been building it. We've been building it for you.
To which I convince him to come down, popping a stealth boy bunch of turbo, and sheer fucking will, I make it to the elevator, to which the game is bugged. It has me going back even though Elijah is dead. So after several attempts, I just have to use the console to finish the quest line, remove my collar, and take my gold haul back to the Mojave. Yeah, what a fitting end. Dog goes around eating people, and Christine is the warden of the Sierra Madre, another piece of the wasteland to the courier's belt of ownership. The story of Dead Money has so far been the best of all the DLCs. No expansion even comes close. Every NPC has their own story that's incredibly interesting and actually fun to learn about and listen to, unlike Old World Blues. The reasoning to why everyone is here, to why everyone is participating in this heist, it's just amazing. I love it. Gameplay, though, it was up and down. Some sections of the expansion were straight up awesome. The villa main portion with the tutorials, getting all 3 companions, great. Some of the rest of the villa, though, was a nightmare. The Sierra Madre, while ultimately awesome in its own right, was also a nightmare in its other rights. One of my first memories of this game was watching my friend watch You Only Live Once by Many a True Nerd in the mirror room. Good times. This was the OG challenge run. Now they're a dime a dozen. And I had to figure out, I Googled this, a little bit of attention, I Googled this to find out what the series was, because I forgot about it, and, once I saw You Only Live Once. But there's so many of them. Anyways, the enemies, the ghost people, I don't hate them at all. In fact, I love them. They're a fun twist on the gameplay. I only wish Obsidian weren't sadists and didn't absolutely spam the absolute crap out of them. Either way, they were awesome. Many hate the gameplay of Dead Money because they can't be super op Courier 6 with an anti-material full auto rifle with full power armor stealth build, but I like the change of pace. But it was a nice breath of fresh air for me. I can see this being annoying if you're on your 17th playthrough of the game, but for someone like me who hasn't played the game in 6 years and likely won't play the game fully for another 6 or 7 years, yeah, it's awesome. The gameplay mechanics of having to dismember your enemies lest they respawn is super interesting. Another piece of interesting gameplay is the all-consuming fog and radio frequencies. It's, I can see it being annoying. I really can. Especially if you're on your 17th playthrough or whatever. But, I remember the radios being a bigger problem my first time around. Really, all you have to do, though, is just sprint past them. You'll be fine. Yeah, it's a little stressful, but you'll be fine. Dead Money is the ultimate definition of Type 2 fun. While most of the New Vegas and other DLCs are just Type 3 fun, it's not fun at all and not fun at all in retrospective, Dead Money sucks when you're in it, but it's great to look back upon and say, yeah, I'd do that again. The atmosphere of the red is incredible. It's such a different look to everything else. The villas and the overall linearity of the map was something I really enjoyed. It made traversal straight to the point, not much room for dead ends or going where you really shouldn't. You just move. And that made things so much easier getting to some of the objectives. It just suffers from obsidianism, where some of the layouts just suck donkey dick, but it's better than most of the other game, and definitely better than the other DLCs. So, also caveat, why I didn't like was, the personality switch. Why didn't he switch back to dog at the fountain with the master voice? Oh well. The story of Dead Money is a heist gone terribly wrong. Not the first rodeo, somehow. Elijah loved to kidnap people and play the sick, twisted little game. He wanted to find the ultimatality of people working together against all odds and letting go. The intended ending for this quest is to not take all the gold bars, to let go of greed, to begin again, to start anew, and to be fresh. Something that plays right into the gameplay of the expansion. Many might overlook it, but I see it as a beautiful harmonization of gameplay and story. I learned to let go this DLC. To let go of fucking poverty? Hell yeah, I'm hauling ass. I'm hauling bricks, dude. No, you can't make me learn my lesson, Dead Money. I'm not learning any lesson other than I'm going to absolutely be able to go through all what you want me to do and say, no, the indomitable human spirit prevails. So overall, no, Dead Money isn't quite as good as I remember it, but it's certainly still my favorite DLC out of all of them. Yeah, I was pissed off for maybe at least half of the DLC, but I was still amazed and showing wonder at it. It was genuinely an incredible experience with tons of depth. Dead Money went for a deep but short pool instead of a wide but shallow one. It didn't miss a single mark in terms of the story, and I have to praise it for being just so good. If only the gameplay were better! I'm not letting go of Dead Money being the most underrated DLC for Fallout New Vegas. Now, there is just one road left to walk. One I must walk alone, to find the courier looking for me in the divide to the lonesome road.